Hi, Tim Vandesluis here. I was recently asked, what burrs do I stock up on? Well, let's talk about that next. When it comes to the high-speed engraver, the burrs that are used are not very big. Let's face it, a burr this big is definitely not the same as a burr like this, or even the larger burrs. All right, this is a very large burr that goes in a flex shaft machine with a 1/4-inch shaft. Now, looking at these, hey, they're hugely different in size. But the thing is, it doesn't really matter what size the burr is. There's never really all that good a reason to stock up on burrs. All right. Now, these high-speed engraver burrs might not be very expensive at a few dollars a piece, but if you have to replace the burr over and over and over and over again every time it stops doing what it did when it was brand new, boy, that expense is just a little bit too much for me to even consider. Now, if you're going to spend $20 or more on a very large burr like this, you expect it to last a long time. But the scale of these burrs is what I think throws people off in thinking that they really need to stock up on them. But let me tell you about the burrs that I use the most and the ones that I end up replacing the most often. With the high-speed engraver, as I'm going about doing my projects, the round burrs are the ones that I typically use the most for shaping and texturing. Now, the diamond football burr is definitely one that I also use quite a bit of. But all in all, they don't have to be replaced all that often. When we're looking at these giant burrs here, we can say, okay, I can take a wire brush or something to these and clean them up. Now, there's a few considerations with the high-speed engraver burrs, but they can be cleaned as well. So just because it stops cutting as effectively as it did when you brand new out of the package and you start carving, well, cleaning the burrs is the best way, no matter what their size, to keep the longevity of them, to make them last so you can get a lot of use out of them, so you're not constantly replacing them. So for me, I end up replacing the round carbides and the round diamonds and the diamond footballs the most often. But to say the most often does not mean constantly, all right? I can get a few months out of my burrs depending on how much time I'm spending carving. If I'm carving a lot every day, every week, and I'm just really pressing to do a lot of carving, I'm going to replace them more often. If I'm not carving that much, I can get 3 months out of the burrs. I can get 6 months out of some of these. Some of these burrs I have not replaced. All right, I don't use them that often, and they'll last a very long time if they're not constantly in use. So there's a wide variety of things that determine how often to replace the burrs. Now, when I do need to replace the burrs, I'll generally buy 2. All right, I'll buy one that I use right now, and just as I rotate them through, I generally have 2 burrs set up. All right, when one gets dirty, I just swap it out, use the other one, then I'll clean them both because that's just my workflow. Okay, so as they wear out, I'll buy 2 at a time, and then I can rotate them. And I always have 2 on my board that I pull from. The really, really worn out ones, okay, the ones that just don't work anymore, save them. Especially with the diamond burrs, because they can be reshaped. You can do lots of different things. Now with the diamond burrs, it's nice because they just get smaller in size. So it goes from a larger burr to a smaller burr, okay? And you just got to put it in a different place in your workflow. So how do you clean the burrs? Well, I've written several articles that I have on my website, and there's videos that go along with that on how you clean high-speed engraver burrs to do it safely, effectively, and to not mar the shaft. Because the high-speed engraver uses a friction grip sleeve in the turbine to hold the burr in place. You don't want to get any nicks or mars on the shaft itself. That can damage the burr, that can damage the turbine. So you want to keep everything as pristine as possible, but it's still a possibility to go ahead and clean all your burrs. So if you'd like to learn that, click on the link and it'll take you to the article talking about which burrs I replace the most, and you can go from there and find information about how to clean your burrs. All right, so with that, that's all I got. It's not that big a deal when it comes to having to replace burrs. I don't really stock up on a lot of burrs ever. Like I said, just a couple at a time, and that keeps me going. All right, so if you like the video, go ahead, hit the like button, give me a thumbs up, whatever it may be. All right, subscribe to the channel, and head on over to carvingonwood.com. I have lots of articles and other information that you can check out. So have a great day, have fun, be safe, and enjoy all your power carving experiences. We'll talk to you later.